Have you ever stopped to think if there was some kind of master plan behind your education? Well, today we're going to deconstruct a 12-year school syllabus to find that hidden architecture of knowledge. We'll trace the path all the way from childhood curiosity to adult mastery.
So how do you build a mind from the ground up? It's a huge question, right? But what if the answer is kind of hidden in plain sight, right there in the 12-year journey every student takes? We're going to see that it's not just about memorizing a bunch of facts. It's about actually constructing a way of thinking, brick by brick. Okay, this right here, this simple comparison really captures the entire journey. On one hand, you've got first grade asking basic questions about plants, but then you flash forward 12 years and you're talking about recombinant DNA technology. That leap is just incredible. And trust me, that kind of progression isn't an accident. It's absolutely by design. So how is this whole journey structured? Well, it's not just a random collection of topics thrown together. It's a deliberate blueprint, and it's designed to move us, step by step, from the familiar world we can see and touch to the fundamental principles that govern everything. The guiding principle behind this whole design is something called a spiral curriculum. And the core idea is actually pretty simple, but it's so powerful. You don't just learn a topic once and then move on. You keep revisiting it again and again, but each time with a deeper level of complexity, looking at it through a more powerful lens. What this means is that learning has to start with things that are tangible and personal before it can ever expand into the abstract and universal. You know, it makes perfect sense. You have to start with the parts you can hold in your hand before you can ever really hope to understand the entire system. To really see this spiral in action, let's just take one concept we all think we know: water. Its 12-year journey through the curriculum is honestly a perfect case study of this whole educational architecture. Just look at this progression. It starts with a personal need: I'm thirsty. Then it expands to a natural system, the water cycle. After that, it adds a societal layer, things like scarcity and infrastructure. And only then, after all that context is built, does it finally dive into its fundamental chemistry, H2O.
And this isn't just for water. This same pattern builds our understanding of biology, physics, and chemistry, layer by layer. We go from just identifying animals to classifying them in this vast web of life, from knowing what food is good for you to understanding the incredibly complex machinery of human digestion.
Now let's switch gears and explore how the spiral builds the language of logic, mathematics. This is where we see the most elegant progression from just simple observation to, airtight abstract proof. I mean, the journey through geometry is just remarkable. It starts with something as simple as describing the world around you, counting the corners on a box. But it ends with the ability to prove, with absolute certainty, the fundamental rules that govern space itself. And it all begins with the number 2, as in 2 dimensions. By first mastering simple 2D shapes on a page, a foundation is laid for navigating 3-dimensional space and even more abstract concepts. It's like learning the very first letters in the language the universe is written in. The curriculum also maps our place in the human world, building our understanding of society not from the top down, but from the inside out. It starts with the most personal questions you can possibly imagine. Think about that for a second. Who all live with you at home? The formal study of human society, of civics and history, begins right there. Not with kings or governments, but by understanding the relationships and structures inside our own homes. And from that deeply personal starting point, our perspective just expands outward, year after year. The circle of understanding gets wider, going from our neighborhood to our nation's history, and eventually it encompasses the complex political and historical forces of the entire world. So after 12 years, what's the result of this whole intricate, spiraling blueprint? What kind of mind is it actually designed to build? Here it is. This is the fundamental shift that happens over 12 years. The goal is to move a student from simple observation to deep analysis. It's the transition from asking, "What is this?" to asking the far more powerful questions, "How does this work?" and "Why does it matter?" Ultimately, the goal isn't to create a mind that's just filled with memorized facts. It's to build a mind that's equipped with a versatile intellectual toolkit. The subjects we learn are the medium, but the real objective is to master the tools themselves: critical thinking, abstract reasoning, and creative problem solving. And that is the ultimate takeaway. The specific facts of the syllabus are kind of like a single detailed map, but the process itself,
It empowers a student with something far more valuable, the ability to navigate any new landscape of knowledge they might encounter for the rest of their lives.
So we'll leave you with this question to think about. This 12-year blueprint isn't a destination, it's a launch pad, and it's been carefully constructed to propel us into a lifetime of learning. The real journey always begins after the map is drawn. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.